Welcome to Structure, Function, and Information Processing, which is the Grade 4, Unit 3 for Science. In this unit, you'll be learning a lot about how animals, as well as humans, use different survival skills, as well as adaptations to better the world around them and to be able to describe the world around them. For this unit, your driving question is going to be how do senses and structures of animals and plants contribute to their survival? This is, again, a non-Googleable question that is going to really capture what we're searching for within the whole unit. Your unit writing masterpiece, and I want you to start thinking about it, especially in first week, is you're going to be writing a nonfiction paper about an animal of your choosing. It can be an animal from any environment, but it should be an animal that you can find much information about. Throughout this piece, you're going to be referring to your animal in a topic about adaptation, how the animal evolved physically to help it in its survival, and how has the animal adapted to the environment to help in its survival. So every week we'll be working together to try to build this paper together, so make sure that you stay up to pace on your writing masterpiece. For week 1 instruction, we're going to be looking generally at what the 5 senses are. And most of you already know what the 5 senses are, but we're going to kind of remind ourselves and refer back to things that you've already learned, hopefully in previous years, about your senses and things that you already know. So the first thing I want you to do is log into Discovery Education using your school username and password and search for the video 5 senses, which is 24 minutes long. As you watch this, remember you can break it up if you need to take breaks, but it talks about all 5 of the senses, so it's a very important video. Then you're going to create a Google document titled The Senses and place that right away into your To Be Graded folder. On that, you're going to create a chart on the document that's 5 by 2, and to create a chart, remember you're going to go to the Insert menu and then Chart, and then you'll have the option to slide over and it'll be 5 by 2. And in this chart, you're going to list the 5 senses in different columns. So it should look like this picture that you see here. So there should be sight, sound, smell, touch, and hearing. On those, or in those lists, you're going to write 5 to 7 different facts about each of the senses, so I know that you understand how they work and some of the special things about them. Below that chart, you're going to write or answer these questions. How do you use your senses in your daily life? Are there any senses that you do not use quite as often? And I want you to close your eyes for a moment. When you do that, are there any other senses that seem to be enhanced? So remember, how do you think an animal that is missing one of their senses might survive using their other senses? And you can refer back to the unit we just had and think about Helen Keller and how she had to enhance her senses. I also, throughout the unit, and I'm just going to put this out there once, have a really cool set of videos that's on Discovery Education, and they're called Pushing the Limits, and they talk about how different senses and parts of our body actually overcome physical disaster. So these are different things that you can watch. I always found them enjoyable. Students have always found them very, very enjoyable. So I put them out there kind of as a resource for you if you'd like to do that, but they're not required. For your math connections this week, you're going to be answering some addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division problems that have to do with the senses. Some of them are going to have to do with cooking. Some of them are going to have to do with tasting or eating or vision. So definitely make sure that you answer these questions on a Google document titled Math Connections Unit 3. For your literacy connection this week, and make sure that you really stay up to date on this, you are going to be starting that animal paper that I was telling you about. And really what it is you're going to be setting up the paper. So if you already have a wild animal that you would like to write a paper on, please note that or remember that. If you don't, you can go to this list, and this is a list that looks like this of all different wild animals. And you can go to different letters and find a specific animal that you want. Remember, as you're looking, try to choose something that you've heard of, because that means there's probably going to be more factual information on it throughout the unit. Then you're going to create a Google document titled Your Animal. So for example, if your animal is the fox, you would put fox here. You wouldn't put the words your animal. Then, to set up the video, you're going to watch this YouTube video, and you are going to create the outline of your paper. Once you're done with that, you are done with your literacy connection for this week.